Peace, family. I hope business has been treating you well so far. Listen, we are officially about halfway through the fourth quarter. This is it, right? This is the end of the year. We're getting ready to wrap up. But not only is it the end of the year, it's one of the most profitable times of the year for all businesses, for most businesses. Can't say all, right? But for most businesses, especially if you're lacking sales right now, you're like, no, not all businesses. All right, check it out. But for most businesses, this is the most profitable time of year. And so I want to give you a couple of tips as to how you can, some things you can look at to help you be profitable as we move into this holiday season and kind of close out the year. So listen, these three things can apply all throughout the year and at any time during your business. I think honestly, there are three things that you should be doing all the time in your business. However, specifically for this time, you should definitely be, I would say, ramping up these activities, right? So first and foremost is going to be promo deals. Obviously, you've got things like you've got Black Friday, you've got Shop Small Saturday, Cyber Monday, 25 days till Christmas. All right, you can do 12 days of Christmas. However you do it, you're going to play on that time frame from December 1 all the way to Christmas Day, right? There's all kind of deals you can do, whether you do 25 days of Christmas, 12 days of Christmas, gifts for him, gifts for her, gifts for dad, gifts for mom, right? There's so many different variations you can do with the Christmas holiday. And then of course you got New Year. So anything where, your business is goal oriented, of course, like health and wellness centers, things like that, gyms, if you're a personal trainer, things like that, even, life coaches, things like that where you're going into the new year, you want to kind of reset people's minds, you're getting ready to start thinking about, okay, I want to hit my goals for next year, all those kinds of things, you can start creating those New Year's deals. So understand, all right, the first thing I want you to do is promo deals. Figure out what you want to offer, what the deal is, what the offer is, and you got to be running promo. You should be running promo all the time. The difference between this time of year and any other time of the year is they're probably going to be special promos, typically because they're going to be some kind of percentage off or whatever the case may be. But you got to be running promos. And if anything, let's say I already run promos during this time of year, you should be doubling down or maybe adding more ad spend to some of those promos, especially to push out for the end of the year. Okay, the second tip that I have for you, if you want to drive some revenue at the end of this year, really look at partnerships. So, we're going into the Thanksgiving season here in the next couple of weeks, right? But you also have Christmas, right? So it's still a great time of year. This whole end of the year is really around families and people coming together, communities coming together, right? Not everybody has their immediate family or families around them. So it's a great time for you maybe to organize something around your product or partner with other organizations, right? You may partner with a women's shelter or a men's shelter or at-risk youth, right? There's different organizations, just church groups in general that are giving back to the community. There are other communities that have a need, and if your product and or service can align with some of those brands or partnering with organizations that are already doing something in the community, it's a great way to get your brand out there and not only, just get the brand out there, but also for you to be seen in the community as someone who's genuinely there to help in your local community. So even if that's finding a food bank and just passing out food boxes or something like that. Obviously with, the Turkey Day coming up, you're giving out meals at a soup kitchen or something like that, and use that opportunity to show your brand in a positive light. So find an organization to partner with that you can maybe, they already have an organization and you're just adding to. It could even be that you're giving products. You might donate so many gift bags or something like that, or gift boxes, however you want to describe it, to that organization. So if you're a company, maybe you've got fashion or something like that, you've got a t-shirt line or something like that you have, you may want to create, hoodies and sweatshirts around your brand around this holiday season, and maybe you give those out. Obviously there's costs involved there, but you got to figure that out. If that's something that you feel is worth doing, you'll do that, right? Or come up with a different, gift that you can give that's maybe smaller. But the point is, get your brand out there by partnering with other organizations. Okay, so I'm going to save the best for last. All right, what I assume is the best for last is margins, right? You got to have margins. So the first thing you want is promo. You got to be running some kind of promo. The second thing you want to be doing is partnering with another organization or creating an event, that brings people in. The third thing you want to do is really understand your margins during this time of year. The reason being, and I'm going to kind of give you a quick example, you want to make sure that you're profitable if you're going to offer a deal. So one of the reasons margins are so important is because during this time of year, a lot of people are going to offer deals as an incentive to get you to purchase a product or some kind of gift box or some kind of gift set, whatever the case may be. They're going to offer a deal, typically going to be 10, 20, 30, 40, even 50% off, right? Depending on what the product is and what you're offering. So if you're going to offer a percentage off, what I don't want you to do is, let's say, for example, an item costs you $10 to make, and then you offer it at a 20% discount, so you're like selling it at a loss, right? A lot of people think, oh well, I'm selling it at a loss, and they treat it like a loss leader. I mean, you could do that, but I don't suggest it, just because at the end of the day, you want to always sell your product at a profit if you can. I understand there are loss leaders. I do talk about that in other videos. There are loss leaders, but during this time of year, I would not be trying to create a loss leader personally. This is not, I mean, it depends on what your strategy is. We can probably debate this if we were having a one-on-one conversation. But if you had a solid strategy as to why you're going to do a loss leader, it could help growth if you're trying to use that as a slingshot kind of into a next year scenario. However, this time of year is to be as profitable as you possibly can. So be very tight on your margin, not tight, but understand what your margins are. And make sure that you have room to grow. So if you haven't already priced your products properly, you may already have small margins, and so it may be hard for you to implement the strategy. But I'm gonna give you an example here real quick as to how margins can really help you. All right, so let's say that we have a product that cost us $10, right? Let's just go with this simple numbers just to get the concept, right? So let's say you have a product that cost you $10. If you did a 100% markup, that'd be an additional $10. If you did a 200% markup, that's an additional $20. If you did a 300% markup, that'd be a $30. So the total retail price, if it already cost you 10 and you're adding that 300%, you're looking at about a $40 item, right? $40 product. So that's what you should be selling it for. It costs you $10. You want to do a 300% markup. That's an additional $30. So if I have a $40 product and I sell it at 50% off, I'm selling it for $20, right? That's still a profit margin of 200%. And this is how they get away with making billions of dollars during this time of year, because they can mark things down. And because you think you're getting a super great deal, you don't realize that these products are already marked up 400, 500%. And in some cases, depending on what the product is, they are marked up thousands of percent. So when they give you a deal at 30, 40, 50% off, and you're buying 2, 3, and 4, all you're doing is exponentially increasing the amount that you would normally purchase because you think you're getting a good deal, right? And so they're able to make hand over fist because they're profitable regardless, whether you bought it at full retail price at a 300% markup or you buy it at a 50% savings, right? But it's still a 200% profit margin for that business. So be very clear on your margins, and this is why it's very important for you to understand that depending on what business you go into, right? Not every business can operate at a 300% margin. I get it. Some businesses operate at a 10, 20, 30% margin. And so those profit margins are very tight. There's not a lot of room for, profitability. Hence why if you don't get a certain amount of sales, you can quickly find yourself going under because there just isn't enough room for profitability. Profitability gives you that cushion to be able to sustain yourself if you ever have down months. So go over your products again, right? Especially at the end of the year, you may want to see where you're at, right? If you're already running promos, really look at where your profit margins are, and going into next year, if not now, immediately, you would adjust those prices, right? I would definitely look at adjusting your prices to where you are the most profitable. Know where you can really push. Now, here's the deal. Let's say you're in an industry where, profit margins are typically, something like 10, 20%, and you really don't go above that, right? How do you really increase that? And I'm going to bring it full circle. This is why I'm big on brand, because, well, there's two ways. First and foremost, one way you can improve profit margin is by being more efficient with your cost, right? So if you can cut cost, it'll increase profit margin. That's one way. The second thing, and this is why I'm big on brand, if you can create a brand that has more value, for example, a regular $10 belt at Walmart, right? That same $10 belt, in terms of just the leather and the cost of the materials, Louis Vuitton can mark it up 300, 400, 500% because of their brand, right? And so I just want to be clear that it's the brand oftentimes that that allows you to mark up something. So if you're in an industry where your margins are slim, you're at 10, 20, 30%, and you can't get to the 300, 400% markup, consider where your brand is. And as you increase your brand value, right, you'll be able to increase your margin because there will be more demand for your brand. Thus, you can charge more. So, two ways that you can increase your profits, right? Cutting costs or figuring out, I won't say cut costs, but be as efficient as you can with costs, because sometimes there's certain costs there that you really can't move, right? It is what it is. Something costs what it costs you to make, and it is what it is. But you can always increase your brand value. Brand value is based on the customer experience. So improve your customer experience, improve your brand and your brand value, and you will increase your profitability. Listen, if you need help in any of these areas, I'm here for you. Go ahead and reach out to me. I'd love to work with you to help you build your brand. Listen, I hope this video has been helpful. I wish you the best in all your endeavors. Until the next one, peace and love.